This episode of Walt Disney World Today is sponsored by MEI and Mousefan Travel. MEI and Mousefan Travel is an authorized Disney vacation planner, specializing in cruises and packages to Disney and other vacation destinations around the world. They provide signature service with no agency fees. Get a no-obligation quote at www.mousefantravel.com. This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Wednesday, July 25th, 2007, and this is episode 287 of Walt Disney World Today. I'm your host, Matt Hochberg of MGMstudios.org. On the show today is Mike Scopa of MousePlanet.com and All Ears Now. Welcome, Mike.
Hey, who am I to go against the status quo?
I'll go with Shannon Tiki.
Under new management, yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
And also on the show is Mike Newell of Mouse World Radio and my overlord at Studio Central Radio.
Pull these strings. Pull these strings.
And finally on the show is Len Testa, co-author of the Unofficial Guide to Walt Disney World. Welcome, Len.
Yo, dog. How's it going?
And it's Wednesday, so we're answering your listener questions, and we'll start off with Scott from Madison, Wisconsin, who writes, Gentlemen, thanks again for all you do with the podcast. I really look forward to it each week. My question is, what are your favorite attractions at night? Are there certain attractions that are better at night than during the day?
Good question.
Which ones?
The answer is yes.
Yeah.
Next question.
Well, which ones? Quickly, just pick one.
Big Thunder.
Big Thunder. At night.
Big Thunder.
Yeah, Big Thunder's completely different at night. It's a way better ride at night than it is during the morning.
Yep.
No.
Go ahead. I like also Expedition Everest.
Yep.
I would say the only one I want to add is Tower of Terror. It's a little bit nicer at night.
Yeah, you get the perspective, though, when you're up there. I mean, can you see?
Well, not only that, it's when you go into the drop shaft, there's not the light coming out from the top.
Right.
True.
Oh, so that does make it better, right?
Yeah,
okay,
That's true.
Well, this is going to give you deja vu that we've answered this question in a recent show because remember I said something about the TTA at night?
Oh, yeah, that's
So
right.
TTA at night rocks, yeah. It's one of my daughter's favorite rides. Awesome.
Next email is from Lindsay from Plano, Texas, writes, thanks as always for a great podcast. I just finished listening to episode 254 of Listener Questions and hate to do it, but wanted to point out an error of Mike Scopa's, although I guess you really can't shoot the messenger. He made a comment pertaining to a question about dining before or during Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, and that you had to wait to make your dining reservations at the 180-day mark, as this is what a friend of his had reported to him. This is actually incorrect. Disney Dining is allowing guests holding Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party tickets to book dining more than 180 days in advance for those restaurants serving during the party, which I believe are still the Liberty Street Tavern and Tony's.
That's correct.
Really?
Yeah. I don't remember if I did say it, I was wrong because I know that one year, and I think I might have mentioned this on the show, this was several years ago, 2005, I had secured my Very Merry in June or July, and it was at that time that I was able to make an ADR for the Liberty Tree Tavern, so I knew for a fact that I did it well before 180 days.
Well, if Scopa was wrong, we appreciate you, Lindsay, emailing, wanting us to know about it.
Well, I don't know about you guys. I don't appreciate it.
Scopa doesn't appreciate it maybe as much as the rest of us.
Next email's from Susan, who writes, Hi, I love the show. We're planning a trip this fall, and we were wondering what happens to the resort guests during hurricanes. Will we be allowed to stay?
I wonder who's going to answer this question.
Will we be allowed to stay in our rooms, or do we have to be gathered somewhere on the property that's considered safe? What happens to folks staying in the campgrounds and cabins? I wonder whom could answer this question for us.
Oh, whom?
Well, since it's the Mike Newell show, Mike.
I've never been there during a hurricane.
Well, Mike Scopa is our venerable hurricane enthusiast. He goes there when there is a hurricane. Mike?
That's right. Nothing says hurricane than stay at Pop Century in August. First off, they are very aware that there will be some guests who have never been in a hurricane area before, so they need to educate them, and you'll see all types of information flowing for the guests. They keep you informed. They will constantly leave messages on the phone. They will leave letters in your room. They will offer all kinds of guidelines and warnings. It's very comforting, actually.
Run like hell. No.
They mentioned when I was there for a couple of hurricanes, they Say stay away from the doors. They will let you know if the parks are open. They will let you know if the parks are closed. They will also let you know as soon as possible. For instance, on the day of Hurricane Charlie, Carol and I were eating at Chef Mickey's, and they told us that the parks were going to be all closing at noon. They were letting us know that obviously they don't want to deal with large crowds when a hurricane is due to hit that day. So they do a pretty good job. But I think the most important thing to keep in mind is that they do whatever they can to educate the guests who are not used to being in a hurricane zone.
Great. Next email is from Dr. Don Collignon, who writes to us about the Magical Express versus renting a car. And it says, one solution to the Express question, rent from Alamo or National for one day and drive yourself quickly to Walt Disney World, stopping for groceries if so desired, and return the next day at the Dolphin. Cost about $40 for a mid-size last time I did it. Then take Express back to the airport at the end of your trip.
Yeah, so it's funny. We've actually started getting a couple more complaints about Magical Express in the reader email. I don't know if it's a statistical blip or what, but the last one I got was from someone who said it took 3 hours to get from the airport to the Animal Kingdom Lodge. So apparently she was at the end of the bus route or whatever. Maybe there were mechanical issues. I haven't followed up yet with her on it, but $40 just to get to the airport is kind of.
It's not. I mean, I do that. I don't know. I mean, I would rather have the car the whole time. I think we generally prefer to have the rental car also throughout the trip. Never mind just the benefits of it. We don't just use it, the rental car, just simply from the airport to Disney. Rather, we like being able to have the car on property and drive us around to the parks and thus get around faster. So there's that. I mean, if you're not a big fan of rental cars but do want to get there faster but don't want to pay a taxi or something like that, that might be another option. Although $40, isn't that what a taxi costs?
Yeah, I think a taxi is like $25, $35, something like that. And you tip, so it's probably not that bad. It's a good idea though if you want to do it for a couple days. I could definitely see that. Like if you're going Magic Kingdom other parks, first couple days.
Yeah.
Or you're going to do offsite dining for a specific date, definitely makes sense. So maybe with slight modifications.
Yeah. Okay.
That's good advice.
Next email's from Mike from Naugatuck, Connecticut, who writes, "Hey guys, amazing show. Thanks all for your hard work that you put into it. Here's my scenario."
Hard work.
I think he means you, Newell.
I think he's talking to Noel.
I was going to say, I don't find it that funny.
Here's the scenario. My wife has a Florida resident season pass. We're both going to Disney in September 2007. Insert answer question by trip date joke here.
That's great.
And we are taking part in the free dining plan. In order to do this, we were both required to purchase at least a one-day Magic Your Way ticket. When we check in, I'll upgrade mine to a 10-day park hopper since I don't have a season pass. So my wife's one-day ticket will be coded to her key card, which is in her name. She will not use this ticket since she will be scanning a separate season pass admission each day. My question is, can my friend use her ticket for admission to Animal Kingdom? I know that the first time you use a ticket, they store your fingerprint, so you are the only one who uses it from then on. What about a one-day ticket? It wouldn't matter if he does, if it scans his fingers because it's only a one-day ticket anyway. Would they ask for some sort of ID when he presents her card?
Oh,
no, go do it.
Just use it one day.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're absolutely fine. Go do it.
Yeah, go for it, Mike. It won't be a problem at all.
Nope.
Next email is from EJ from Oshkosh, Wisconsin, who writes, "Howdy, gang. I send this email in hopes that it'll receive it and answer it before my big trip. My family and I are venturing to the happiest place on earth for our 25th anniversary. I hear that Cinderella's castle will be decorated like a giant birthday cake. What a great thing for that."
Already hard.
That was great. That was great. Funny.
Very funny. As Newell would say, very funny.
Very funny.
Funny.
Next email is from Dave from Illinois, who writes, "Hello, gentlemen. My family and I will be traveling to Walt Disney World on December 14th through the 22nd of this year. TouringPlans.com has the crowds tapping out at a 6 during our trip, but there seems to be a lot of opposed opinions on various Walt Disney World internet communities that crowds will still be very high while we're there. Is there reason that crowds are predicted to be between 4 and 6 because Christmas is on a Tuesday, so kids will be in school until Friday the 21st?
What are the dates?
December 14th to the 22nd.
Yeah, everyone's still in school.
Well, there you
They're
go.
preparing for Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, I think my daughter and probably most of the schools in the southeastern United States get out way closer to Christmas.
Like the
So,
23rd or 4th.
like the 19th or the 20th. So I think that week will be absolutely fine. No one's getting off that early.
Let's go.
Dave also writes, a big thanks to Mike Newell. I was on hold during your June live show, and for some reason the system wouldn't let Mike transfer my call in. He was very kind about the technical problem and even offered to call me back. Give that guy a raise.
It was an off night for Newell. That's what it was.
You get double what you normally make.
What's double of nothing?
Exactly. 2 times 0 is still 1.
Next email is from Sue Behringer, who writes, "Hi, it's Sue from Pittsburgh with a question for Matt. We're planning on going into Disney World in January 2008. And if you can't get this before there, no problem. I'll just email Mongello."
Ooh.
Funny.
Thanks so much. So funny.
Oh.
Sorry, couldn't resist. My question is regarding Tower of Terror. My daughter and I are basically too chicken to ride it, but I'd love to see the pre-show and everything leading up to the actual drop. Is there a way to go through it and then bail out at the last minute? Where is the chicken exit if there one exists? There does.
It's in an elevator shaft. Just take the elevator back up to the top. Just kidding.
The funny thing is that the chicken exit actually is an elevator. You go through the entire pre-show area, and when you get to the point where they try to load you onto the elevators, they're going to ask you how many in your party. You're going to say, well, 1.
Whatever, minus me.
Yeah, I don't want to ride, exactly. And they'll actually direct you to a corridor, which leads to actually an elevator, although this one is unthemed. It's pretty boring looking. And they bring you down to the area where you can meet your party when they come on down. It's right by the photo exit over there. So that's exactly where you need to go.
You do miss out, though, on a lot of the ride.
The entire ride.
Well, there's more to it.
Yeah, usually you do.
There's more to it than just standing in the queue area. The whole.
Yeah, the ride is amazing, and Mike Newell's right. Even if you hate the idea of it, I would ride it just once with your eyes open, preferably.
Yeah,
and experience it once, and then ride it off for the rest of your life because it's just an amazing attraction in terms of theming and the effects and everything. Next email is from Brian Schaefer of Beaver Creek, Ohio, where I'd say, guys, love your podcast as it helps me mowing the lawn. It makes it much more enjoyable. Hopefully the neighbors don't think I'm crazy when I start laughing at your antics. Oh, Lou! Anyway, my family will be traveling to Walt Disney World in October, and we'll be staying at Coronado Springs. Insert joke about reading this in time for our trip. We're thinking about going to Spirit of Aloha dinner show. What are your thoughts on this show? Is it worth the money? Glenn, don't you hate this show?
I don't love it. Here's a couple of things. One is the food is just not great. I think in the book we say that the food really doesn't do anything more than illustrate how hard it is to prepare 200 simultaneous dinners. It just wasn't that good.
I totally agree.
And do what?
I totally agree.
Yeah, it's not. The other thing is that it's long. So the last time I went to see it, the show started at 8. It started relatively soon. At 10:30, the show's still going on. I'm like, the hell with this. I'm leaving. I couldn't imagine having small children sit through that kind of show. It was just incredibly long, and it's just there's long segments where there's nothing to do. Well, where there's really no entertainment, or there's just people running around the stage trying to prepare things. It wasn't. It's not great.
Yeah, so I think Newell would say it stinks and I don't like it.
It stinks. Nice.
Brian also writes, we may also go to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. My 2 daughters are teenagers and wouldn't be interested in dressing up in costume. Is it a big deal if we all just wore regular clothes, or would we stick out like sore thumbs?
Nah, you'd be fine.
Yeah, I would encourage you. I know it doesn't sound cool, but when you get there, there's something about it. It's like that same kind of aura that makes people want to wear those ugly Mickey hats and the goofy ears and all the other terrible clothing that would never look good outside of the parks. Dressing up for the event is really a lot of fun.
That reminds me, I need to bring something to wear for Tiki Fest. Speaking of stuff you wouldn't wear outside the park.
Do you actually have a ticket for it, Len, yet?
Yeah, I do. I got one. Thanks.
Next email is from Bill Wangerine of Concord, North Carolina, who writes, Matt, Mike, and Len, obligatory sucking up. Love the show, long-time listener, first-time caller or emailer. I just listened to the FastPass episode and I immediately had an idea why they made the change to the FastPass, the barcode in particular. Disney makes almost all of its decisions to either make more money or save more money. I envision it's not in the not-too-distant future, the FastPass line will not be manned by a cast member, but by a turnstile attached to a barcode reader. Instead of showing your FastPass to the cast member, you'll swipe it in the barcode reader to get into the FastPass queue. This would save the payroll expense for that cast member at each FastPass attraction. The timestamp barcode will tell Disney much more accurately what percentage of FastPasses are utilized. So, say, for example, only 60% of FastPasses are given out between 10 and 11 a.m. that are utilized. Disney could expand the number of FastPasses given out during that time frame, knowing that only 60% will be used.
It's entirely plausible. I hadn't thought about that. The a couple of quick questions on it though. One, what if the FastPass thing doesn't work with the turnstile? You remember, even with FastPasses, there's got to be a cast member around there to help guests who can't figure out how the FastPass machine works. Right. Wouldn't they also have to have a cast member near the return?
Yeah,
in case something doesn't work there.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting thought. Although I don't think it's very practical. I'm not sure we're at the point where our technology overlords will start, commanding,
Skynet.
Yeah, exactly. Be like, I'm sorry, Dave, I can't let you in.
Exactly.
Next email is from our favorite man of the cloth. It's Friar Bill Kessler, who writes, I bought my Sun Pass 4 to 5 years ago, and I've used it 3 times over that time period. I paid $20 for the unit and also bought $25 worth in tolls. I used it to travel around Orlando and also a trip down to the Keys. I've not had to refill it in the times that I've used it. It makes tollway travel much easier when I go in 2008, and I'll use it again then.
Sun Pass.
Yeah, remember we had that discussion about getting a Sun Pass to avoid the tolls?
Yeah.
But you have to pay for the unit, and you also have to put in a certain amount. Minimum, I think it's $25 or something like that. So it might work for us, but yeah. Well, we appreciate.
I'm gonna have to look into doing that.
Appreciate Friar Bill's email. Next email is from Courtney from Evansville, Indiana, who writes, "Hey guys, absolutely love the podcast. I'm a long-time listener, but this is the first time I've written in. Here's my situation. I'll be taking a trip with my boyfriend in September 2007, not 2008, Matt, and using the free dining. Yeah. The thing is that I've been to Walt Disney World probably 15 times since I was about 4 years old. He hasn't been since he was about 8. We're both 24 now. He's pretty much left the planning up to me, but I'm worried that when I'm going to run him ragged when we're down there. Any advice? What are your strategies for going with a first-timer? Hope their answer gets to us before we leave for the world. Thanks so much, guys. Keep up the fantastic work."
Wow.
Ooh, good one. Scopa?
Well, I've been there with first-timers, and the thing to do, number one, is to prepare them well before you go on your vacation. Talk to them as much as you can. Prepare them for each park. Explain all the attractions. Explain the parades. Explain Extra Magic Hour. Explain Fast Pass. Explain why sometimes you have to eat lunch at 2:30 in the afternoon instead of noon. I think that the big key is to really prepare them prior to going down there. You don't want to do an on-the-job training, if you will, because I think it will take away from your vacation. And when you're down there, show them everything that you think would really tell them exactly what it does for you. And I think that's half the battle. But the real key is to prepare well before you go down.
Yeah, I think having some concept of a touring plan based on what the person might want to do is probably a good idea.
Yeah, and I think one more thing is to make sure they understand that they're not going to be able to do everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Next email is from Adam Corbett of Collegeville, Pennsylvania.
Adam!
And he writes, "Hey guys, I wrote an email a few weeks ago asking about taking my 7-month-old to Disney World and if it was okay to ride anything. It seems the group thought that this wasn't a very good idea. She wouldn't remember it, etc. I have to take umbrage with you, with your opinions rather, on that matter. I realize she would not remember anything. I knew that already, but the point of raising any baby is to provide them with positive stimulation. I can't think of anything more positive than Disney World, whether it be rides, characters, lights, or anything else Disney parks can provide. I can't speak for anyone else, but my daughter really enjoyed the rides I did take her on, and she was very observant and wide-eyed at what she saw. I know as adults we have certain expectations about going to Disney parks, but little children and even infants benefit from the experience in a different way. I'm certain my daughter enjoyed herself and left an impression I believe to be very positive. For the record, my daughter didn't cry at any of the rides I took her on, and she was not ruining the experience for anyone. I just wanted to relay my thoughts about your original answer to my question. Thanks for your time. Keep up the good work on the podcast."
Oh, thanks. Go ahead, Len.
No, that's it. I'm glad it worked out.
Well, I'm glad it worked out too, but my comments still stand. That is, I really think that 7-month-old is too young. and I'm going to stick
Some
by
people
it.
can pull it off. Maybe it was just me that I didn't think I could pull it
Well,
off.
it depends upon the ride. I mean, let's ask her how she enjoyed Mission Space. You know, I mean, I don't know what attractions you took her on, and I'm sure that there are some that can handle a 7-month that a 7-month-year-old can handle, but in general, too young.
Okay. Hey,
Yeah.
At least Scopa doesn't flip flop. He's
It's
man
true.
of his convictions.
Nice.
Well, it took him a while to give up that whole Greek god thing. I mean, how long did that take us, Len, to convince him that was really
A couple of
the way to go?
centuries.
Exactly. It's just not working out, I'm telling you.
Next email is from Dan, who writes, "Hi, I love your show. I download it to my iPod and listen to it every Thursday afternoon at work, which is a slow time for me. We're annual Walt Disney World goers to Old Key West from Michigan, and every year we try something that we have not done before. This time it was renting a pontoon for all 7 of us and checking out the Magic Kingdom Wishes fireworks from the lagoon. Any input on what to expect that would be appreciated. Keep up the fun and informative podcast. Thanks."
Cool.
Any input on the Lenton? You're not a big fan of the
Pontoon?
The pontoon.
No,
Wishes.
I think that when all of those fireworks and all of those effects were designed, they were designed for people standing on the sides or in the stands or wherever of the parks, and that the water the water level is a little bit lower and you don't get quite the same effect. I also think it's a tremendous investment in time, and unless you're out there with some really good food and some really good drinks, it's difficult to justify that sort of investment in the time. I just didn't think it was worth it. It wasn't worth it to me. So
Cool. Next email is from Joe C. of Danvers, Massachusetts, who writes, "Guys, forget about the interactive touchscreens that are being added to the ride cars as part of the planned refurb of Spaceship Earth. The big question is if they're going to be added the padded headrests to it. It's one of my favorite attractions at Epcot, but it has to have the most uncomfortable ride cars in all of Walt Disney World."
Possibly so. Although
I don't know.
we talked about this. Remember that? Didn't we say that I think they added padding to the seats at the TTA, and it's way nicer now. I mean, they've done this in the past year, I think.
I thought they were
So
always
a little
padded.
extra padding.
Well, do you find it uncomfortable? You're a big fan of Spaceship Earth.
It's a hard seat. I mean, you notice
is.
it more when you're going backwards downhill. But
Right.
I mean,
when you're when you fall asleep as you're going back, and your head kind of bounces
and you get stuck.
exactly. Oh God, I'm awake. Yeah, padding would be nice actually.
It would.
Next email is from Heather Curry, who writes, "Okay, me and my fiance are going down there for our first time ever for both of us for our honeymoon. He's 6'9" and has wide shoulders and such. I'm worried maybe he'll be too tall. We only have a handful of rides we wanted to do, such as Fast Track, Rock and Roller Coaster, and such. Should I be worried or not?"
6'9"?
6'9".
Nah, it's designed. I mean, all the rides are designed for. He won't be the largest person to ever go to Walt Disney World. I'm sure he'll be fine.
Even
The only thing I'm thinking is maybe just leg space.
Yeah, that's gonna be and a couple
Test
of
Track is going to be tough.
What about Space Mountain?
Coasters a
Ooh,
little bit.
Space Mountain. Space Mountain will be
Yeah.
good too.
The coasters you're going to have, because the leg space is a little much, but not so much the shoulders or anything like that. I wouldn't worry about that, but you might want to keep that in mind. But some of the rides have the ride vehicle outside. I'm pretty sure Test Track still has theirs. I know Expedition Everest has theirs, so you might want to test it out and see how you do. Next email is from Sue from Southington, Connecticut, who writes, "My brother and I are planning a trip to the world in September when we participate in the Disney Triathlon. As part of his training, we are planning our own Disney version of the Ironman competition, which we called Iron Ears, for 2 days before the triathlon. The day, September 21st, is an Epcot Evening Extra Magic Hour night. Here comes the question. Is there always a second showing of Illuminations on Epcot Evening Extra Magic Hours?"
Never.
No, there's just the one, whatever it's...
Right.
Yeah, I didn't think they did a second one then.
Yeah,
You know how much time it would take to load the second one? Wow.
Yeah, I can't think of an instance where there has been 2 in one night at all. Can you guys think of one in recent memory?
There was a rumor
yeah, there were a
floating
couple
around.
they've done a couple this year, yeah.
Okay.
But it's not all the time. That's the big thing to watch.
Good thing I don't run Epcot.org, isn't it? Next email is from Emily, who writes, "I've been trying to find the answer to this question, but I have just been confusing myself. I'm planning a long weekend in January for myself and my boyfriend. We'll have 2 days in the park. So my boyfriend has 2 old park tickets from around 1993. They're each 4-day tickets with 1 day left. This is back when they had stamped the date on the ticket, so I know there's 1 day left on each ticket. So this leaves me needing a 2-day ticket. Do the old tickets have hopping privileges? I would like to be able to park hop, but I don't know if paying the $45 is worth it. Would it be cheaper to upgrade the 2 tickets to 2-day park hoppers? I'm so confused. You're my only hope.
Wait, say it again. I didn't get all that.
All right. Old ticket from 93. They have 1 day left on them.
Yep.
Wants to park hop. Add days on it and park hop. Does the old ticket have park hopping options built into it?
I believe so, yes. But you won't be able to get into the Animal Kingdom.
That's right. You'd only be able to, because the Animal Kingdom wasn't open when you got the ticket, so therefore you didn't pay for the Animal Kingdom, therefore you can't.
Right.
You can upgrade the tickets. I know you can always take the old tickets and upgrade them. It might be easier than...
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to give you, though. Are they going to give you...
I'm not sure what you... I don't know. Scopa, what do you think they should do in this case? You're a big fan of tickets.
I would just use it to go to whatever any park other than the Animal Kingdom you want. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think Lynn's right. I think that, what you said, Matt, was correct. It covers the 3 parks, and you may even want to just, I'm guessing that there's fine print somewhere that tells you exactly, well, may not, but I would say, just use them for Magic Kingdom, Epcot, and MGM, and if you need to go to the Animal Kingdom, do something else.
Great. Our next email is from Roger from Sebago, Maine, who writes, "Hi, Matt, Len, Newell, and Scopa. Really appreciate all the great work you do. I just found out that Disney's having Little One Magic Hours in September while we'll be in the world at Scopa Towers. 2 questions. How will these affect the crowd levels in the Magic Kingdom on those days? And who can use these extra Magic Hours?"
Park guests can use it. It's just like an extra.
Yeah,
it's just like an extra extra Magic Hour. It doesn't affect crowds. Obviously, it affects crowds who are going to the parks that day. In terms of drawing additional people to the Magic Kingdom or to the Walt Disney World Resort, I don't think it's really drawing very many people at all.
No, it's
simply because school's in session then, and not a lot of people are going to take people out. So that's it is going to make the Fantasyland attractions a little bit more crowded. But if it's every day, during the week, then you actually lose some of the impact of that. So it's not bad at all.
Next email is from Jamie from the land of Huskies in Connecticut. I think that Winter Summerland is open late past the closing time of Blizzard Beach. Does Disney Transportation run to Blizzard Beach until Winter Summerland closes?
It runs to Blizzard Beach at least an hour after the park completely closes.
Yeah, but what resort is across from Blizzard Beach over there? Isn't there one that's like... Is it...
It's not Coronado.
There's got to be, there's got to be a way for guests to get there. I would think the bus has got to run there to, Winter Summerland.
Doesn't the Animal Kingdom launch bus run?
I'm not sure which one, but you got to think that if Winter Summerland is open, there's still a bus to be able to bring you back from there.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Next email is from... doesn't say. Hey guys, I just visited Walt Disney World in the past with my parents and sister, but now I'm now married and have a 19-month-old little girl. We're looking to go to Walt Disney World at the end of April 2008. The reason of going then and not in October is because of my work schedule. I was wondering if it's a good time to go or not because of the crowds.
Yeah, it'll be fine actually because Easter is in late March 2008, so you're not going to have the same impact in April with Easter crowds and spring break as you do. As you did this year and last year. So Easter schedule a little bit different. The one thing you will have to watch, I have to check, New York and the New England public school schedules, they're trying to go to more of a fixed schedule. In other words, instead of varying every year to put their spring break around Easter, they're trying to go with the same time every year. We'll have to check on that. But I think you'll be fine.
This listener also wants to know, where should I look for the best deal on an 8-day stay? I ask this because of sites like Expedia.com that have packages. If you buy these, can you buy the add-ons later, like the meal package or not? I can't find anything about this anywhere.
Good question. You can't. The upgrade through Expedia is gonna be a pain. You could probably do it through Disney.
Yeah, I would think that you could book it through Expedia, and then once you book it, you're dealing with Disney, not Expedia anymore. They're just the middleman.
Right.
in terms of best deals, Len, do you find any difference between anywhere? If you want to stay on Disney World, I mean, do you find Expedia is a better option?
No, I think you can always do better with a Disney travel agent, actually.
I agree.
I would agree with that, too. Well, that's it for the email bucket today. If you want to find our older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, you can visit the Walt Disney World Today webpage at www.wdwtoday.com. You can also email us at questions@wdwtoday.com. For Len Tester, Mike Scopa, and Mike Newell, I'm Matt Hochberg. We'll see you on the next show.
This episode of Walt Disney World Today is sponsored by MEI and MouseFan Travel. MEI and MouseFan Travel is an authorized Disney vacation planner, specializing in cruises and packages to Disney and other vacation destinations around the world. They provide signature service with no agency fees. Get a no-obligation quote at www.mousefantravel.com.
Here's the latest in the dispute between Internet Radio and the music industry over new royalty rates. The crippling new rates were due to go into effect July 15th. SoundExchange, the royalty collection agency, is encouraging small webcasters to keep operating while deliberations continue. Basically, we're on hold. The final outcome is yet to be decided. Have a say in the matter. Contact your congresspeople through SaveNetRadio.org. Urge them to support the Internet Radio Equality Act.